What's the scariest thing you ever seen out here?
The scariest thing I ever seen?
Or that has happened to you?
I think the scariest thing was watching somebody get killed for them trying to steal for their addiction, provide for their addiction. And then I turn around and do the same thing. I'm scared that might happen to me. Because right now, this North Philly is off the hook, and it's kids running around with guns, and they just shooting people to shoot them for whatever, for nothing sometimes. Especially if you're in addiction, people think, oh yeah, let's mess with these people, let's do this, it's fun, and it turns out deadly.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We out here in Kensington. It's a cold day today, and I have our brother that's out here who's gonna shed light on his story. Brother, what's your name?
My name's Joey, aka White Boy.
Okay, Joey. Where are you from originally?
Originally was born in Rio Piedra, Puerto Rico. Came over here in about 1978, almost 2 years old. Yeah.
You've been here since 2 years old. Have you been back to Puerto Rico since?
No, I haven't been back due to, you know, what I did with my life and, you know, the drug issues and all that. I had criminal background preventing me from going back.
Okay, I understand, brother. Let's go in the back a little bit. Let's talk about your household, your childhood. Paint us a picture. What was it like for you growing up?
Well, growing up first, I always say I was born to parents who were, one was a monster, one was an animal, and they created a young beast. My mother, she was hooked on drugs, and you know, she was tormented, really mental in the mind. She became a monster in my life, abusive. I would take it from her because she got caught trying to kill me. And about 6, 7 years old, she shot my uncle in the face trying to kidnap me to, you know, end my life. My father, he was originally a bodybuilder, professional bodybuilder. He came to the States looking for work and modeling, and got caught up in the drug game with friends over here, and that became his life, selling drugs. And he wasn't really there. His thing was when I come around him, give me money and get me off the scene. And about at the age of getting raised by my grandmother, I am about 15, my father passed, and I had to identify his body being the only family he had here in the States.
I'm sorry to hear that you went through such trauma growing up, brother. Your mom, is she still alive?
I don't know. I don't have no contact. About around 10 years old, after every time, you know, she would come around, do things, and like being showed pictures we would run from and stuff and hide from her. She come around. About 10, she stopped her stuff, and I never seen or heard from her again.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
No, I had no brother and sister. I'm the only child.
Okay. Let's talk about school. How far do you go in school?
In school, I went all the way to 12th grade. I only did it I went to school to prove to my family and to other people that I wasn't no dummy. I could do it. I was an honor roll student while at a young age, you know, school, running a corner, selling drugs. And about 15, that's when I started getting involved in drugs. After my father died, I used it as a coping mechanism to, you know, we couldn't show feelings in the hood and being where I'm from. So I used it to cover my feelings and hide my true identity. Yeah. And that's what I seek refuge in you know, in marijuana at that time, and money. And that didn't do it. You know, then the marijuana no longer worked it. So it progressed to PCP and kept on going on.
And now, currently, what are you struggling with?
Right now, I struggle with opioid addiction, fentanyl, that's all that's out there now. I do fentanyl and cocaine, which they call speedballs. I mix it, and you know, it was a progressive thing. You know, that's not what I already did. I did heroin first, and then I had got locked up. I caught a big case back in 2003, and went to prison, came out, got high, and then I had a child, and I wanted to be a good father. So, you know, I went to rehab, got myself clean, and to be a father. And as things went on being a father, I started working. I wanted to put myself around different people to learn a different way of life, because all I knew was crime, the streets, how to make easy money. I didn't know how to deal with life on life terms. So I went around people. I chose to go around church people at the time, and which, you know, I felt like, oh yeah, I became this Jesus freak, and you know, thought God was guiding me. I started running a youth program in the Northeast for the church, and you know, I stayed clean for about 12, 13 years, and then everything started crashing down on me again. Me and my baby mom, we broke up. She took my son from me because I didn't want to be with her no more, so I lost my child due to her lies and my past convictions. The judge labeled me basically an animal, an endangerment to society, and said I shouldn't be around a child even, and gave me an endless restraining order, which I never heard of. And then after that, I got diagnosed with end-stage liver disease due to my past drug addiction. And during that process, the pain and everything I was going through, the doctors, they put me on the opioids called Suboxone. And I said, why are you giving me this? I'm not on heroin no more. I don't need this. This is going to cause me addiction. They said, well, this is all we got for your pain management. So as the pain got worse, I decided to give into it and take it. At that time, as studying my illness, I realized they were sending me to a specialist, none of that, to try to help cure me or help me with that. So I questioned the doctors. They didn't like how I questioned them and the argument I gave them for not taking care of me correctly. And they kicked me out their office and left me with no prescription, but with an addiction to this opioid and no way to get it. So I found myself getting sick and found that the only cure and the cheapest cure was to get high again. And all the hurt I was feeling, I remembered them pleasures I had before, and it took all them feelings away. So I didn't care, and I didn't have to hurt no more. Probably for a few hours.
The speedball lasts you for a few hours?
Oh, a speedball addiction, that became a whole different monster after doing just the regular opioid by itself. A speedball is an instant gratification which lasts a couple seconds of a rush.
So it's just a couple seconds, the high.
So yeah, so as I do one, I'm mixing up another one. So when I get that hit, I'm ready to get another hit, because I want that rush again.
Do you get that same rush when you take another hit? Does it come?
It comes, but then I get immune to that stuff. I have to switch and find something else, a newer dealer, you know, within a week's time, because I'm doing so much that I'm getting immune to that. Well, I was up to about 15 to 30 shots, 15 to 25 shots a day. So I would have to do that to maintain not getting sick. If not, within hours I'm getting sick, because the cocaine makes you metabolize the opioid quicker.
And what does that withdrawal feel like?
Oh, it's pain and suffering, especially if you don't have a comfortable place to be. And because of my addiction and my health, I ended up, you know, homeless out here in the streets.
Are you currently homeless?
Yes, I'm currently homeless now.
It's winter, man. It's hard to be homeless in the winter time. How old are you?
I'm 47, and at this young age, I suffered 2 strokes already. That's why I had the speech problem I have now. And at one time, about two years ago, I was 384 pounds active, and I looked like a whole different person. I had my teeth and all. Once this illness settled in and took over me, I became this disaster.
How do you lose your teeth?
From the illness, throwing up, the acidity from my stomach ate the back of my teeth and wore them down to the nerves. So it was causing a lot of pain, so they had no choice but to pull them all.
Yeah, I hear you. What's a day in Kensington look like for you, a day in your life? What is it like?
Oh, it's just constantly trying to get money however it is, the greed, the grime. I mean, there's no friends in this game. You think your best friend is your best friend and your brother, and once you fall asleep on him, he's your worst enemy, and you have nothing. So you can't trust nobody. You can't sleep on nobody. I've been up now, going on 4.5 days with no sleep.
Dang.
So it's getting to the point, and not being able to eat correctly because I'm feeding an addiction, and that's more important than eating. Plus it takes my hunger, plus the sickness I have causes me insomnia and not to want to eat. So I'm just getting high, and it gets to the point of not eating, not sleeping. I start getting paranoia, I start getting visual hallucinations, and my body will start to shut down and force me to sleep. And when that happens, whatever I have no longer is there. It's gone. Someone takes it and I don't even know. I just the other day had a brand new phone and all my stuff. I fell asleep. My body forced me to sleep like a few days ago when the last time I slept. My body forced me to sleep. Woke up, everything was gone. My biggest regret, I think, is doing the first drug, and you know, smoking weed, and using something to mask who I really was. But I was a child, and you know, I made childish decisions, and plus, not only that, I was basically raising myself, so I thought I was making adult decisions as a child. My fears, you know, dying without seeing my son again, you know, dying in this addiction. You know, I do have somebody in my life that really loves me, and he takes care of me the best he can. And hurting him right now, you know, he's not my real father, but I call him my father. He takes care of me as a father. I call him Poppy. You know, I would give him no other name but that. And you know, he tries to guide me spiritually. You know, I took my Shahada with him. You know, I'm Muslim. You know, he guided me back to Allah. And he tries to teach me that way and tries to help me understand that Allah gave me this life for a reason and let me see the things I did, not for it may not be for me, but to benefit somebody else. And you know, just because the life I led don't make me this bad guy. Like I said, I ran a youth program. Who wouldn't trust somebody with children, with their children? Having the past I had and the criminal convictions I had, and you know, and trust my own child, and you know, I was called a great father, and people saw how I was with my son and entrusted me with their kids.
Where is your son now?
My son now, he lives with his mother. It been, on the last time I saw him, he was 12 years old, so it's going on 3 years. He's going to be 15 on February 20th. And you know, I don't forget him. I have pictures of him. I look at him all the time. And I know he misses me.
Yeah. What do you do for work out here? How you make money?
I do whatever it takes. Honestly, you know, like I said, I had to feed an addiction. And
Full-time job, right? A full-time job.
24 hours sometime. And I tell you, the truth is, you know, to feed that addiction, sometimes you do the grimiest things, because when you get sick and you got that monkey on your back, it's no hold barred.
What's the worst thing you did to feed your addiction?
The worst thing I did to feed my addiction, I believe, you know, stole from the man I call my father.
Yeah,
and he forgave me, and I did it again. He forgave me till this day. And so, you know, I parted myself from there to keep a distance, because I don't want to do it again.
Right. What all have you lost due to your addiction?
Oh, I lost everything. I lost my pride, my dignity. I live on the streets like an animal, and this wasn't the person I used to be. I was a pretty boy at one time, and even when I had an addiction, I made sure I took care of the addiction and my appearance, because I had an image to maintain. Now I threw all that away. My image doesn't matter no more. How I look, whether I wash my ass or not, doesn't become a priority. My priority is let me get that in me.
Understood. What are your short-term goals now?
My short-term goals now, right now, I'm trying to work to try to get a detox and a rehab, to try to get on something, to give something legit that I can live a better life and get clean and sober, and maybe try to fight for my son again, to have visitations, and at least if I'm dying like I'm dying, I'm terminally ill, I want to die in peace, man. I don't want to die in this madness.
If you had one wish, what would you wish for?
My wish that whoever sees this and watch this, you know, don't be judgmental and judge everybody, because people with an addiction and do so, we have a story behind us, but we also have a heart too, and we do care about others. And some of us caught in this crisis are probably some of the best people you meet. I mean, I would give the shirt off my back to somebody if I had to. And that's real rap, even in an addiction. I would put my hand out there to help people. I did it already and had my hand bitten, and I will still do it. Because, you know, I do it from the heart, and I believe as long as I do it from the heart, that Allah will provide me with whatever I need and bless me with what I want.
Amen to that. What's your message for the world?
Don't be just so judgmental. You know, give a person a time, get to know them, find out why it is they do what they do, and try to understand them instead of being understood. Try to understand them and put yourself in their shoes. A lot of people, you couldn't walk around the block in my shoes and want to commit suicide, but I still fight this every day and want to live.
Well, thank you so much for being courageous, brother, and sharing your story with us. We're going to be rooting for you.